What's up, adventurers and dungeon masters? Today we're going to be talking about improvisation in D&D campaigns and tabletop in general. So let's get right into it. Now, the first tip might seem odd, but it's actually to improv less. I know, just stick with me. Even if you haven't prepped something for this specific campaign, having old stuff that you've already prepped on deck that's easy for you to grab and repurpose for this is going to really help you out. For example, you have an impromptu game because you have some friends in town and you need an encounter for 4 level 3 characters. Well, you might have already prepped an encounter in the past for another group that was very similar. Now, you may need to change the aesthetic a bit to fit the setting that you're currently playing in, but that's much easier than getting an entire encounter built together that you know is going to fit for those level of players. Perhaps it's not bandits, it's the town's guard. And maybe it isn't happening in a river opening, maybe it's taking place at the ocean or on the coast. And this goes doubly so for NPCs. While making up an entirely unique NPC on the fly can be very difficult, reskinning an NPC so that it's from this area instead of from a town farther away is very easy and much simpler. It's so much easier to be like, oh, well, I guess he was from Neverwinter, but no, this guy's from this small town here. Way easier, way more doable, and it doesn't take up as much time. The less actual improv you have to do, the smoother the game's gonna run. Tip number 2, make yourself familiar with the area that you're running the game in. It's rather easy to improv an adventure if you're very familiar with the setting that you're in. Let's say you're improvising a session and it's in the city of Sharn. If you're familiar with the goings on in the cities, such as the corruption with the City Watch, the multiple criminal organizations that are running like illegal gambling operations, or the disparities in the lower wards that are constantly letting crime run rampant, it's going to be relatively easy just to like grab a name for a villain and throw together an entire adventure. However, if the only thing you know about Sharn is that it's a big city and there's lots of things happening there, well, now you have to invent all of those plot hooks on the fly instead of just grabbing plot hooks from that box in your brain that you should be keeping them in. And as a bonus tip, all good DMs should be adding to that plot hook box in their brain. Another thing to keep in mind is the drive of your PCs. What's actually driving those characters to do what they're doing? If you know that, it's going to be really easy to improv something on the fly that those characters are actually going to want to interact with, instead of coming up with something and wasting your time because those PCs see that and go, no, we don't want any, and just walk right past it. You have to make these plot hooks and these things you come up with on the fly seem important, and the easiest way to do that is if you already know the PCs are interested in those things. Another good thing about familiarizing yourself with your PC's background is that sometimes they give you free plot hooks. In fact, one that I've mentioned in other videos is I actually had a PC whose character was chased out of the town he was from originally by a thieves guild from that area. And so it was very easy on a week where I didn't really have much that I could come up with. I grabbed some stat blocks for bandits and spies, and guess who came rolling into town? That thieves guild that was looking for that player. And it ended up getting us 3 sessions out of that chasing cat and mouse game that that PC was playing with that group of bandits. So there is 3 tips to help you with improv inside your D&D games. I hope that helps you guys out. And if there's any tips that you guys have personally, leave them in the comments below. That is going to help out everybody that watched this video and also help me out as I try to improve in every one of my game sessions. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe. See you next time.